Hello.
What's going on?
Good evening to you. Happy Thursday to twins and those of you who will be joining us. Thank you for coming. We've got quite the amazing show. We are doing a Q&A. We're doing a little bit different. I'll explain shortly. But before that, twins, how has your week been? And of course, your weekend.
The same. No complaints. Just a steady, smooth week. Work is picking up a little bit. Besides that, all is well.
Oh
Nothing.
my goodness. Sorry, I have to cut you. I just realized that next Thursday is your Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So that makes it difficult for you to do the show.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Oh, well,
Really?
I guess we're still having a show on Thanksgiving, y'all. So watch this with your family.
Yeah. We'll. You know what? Let's put a pin on that and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Well, we will put it on that.
yeah. Put a pin
Let
on.
me know because it's not Canadian Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving is in October, so we've already passed that. It just dawned on me. I'm like, hold on, Thursday. I was going to ask you like something, and I was like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. So you let a girl know, but hopefully we'll bring a show. Maybe I'll do the show by myself. We know I won't do that. We'll figure it out. But if you guys want us to be in your family's house on Thanksgiving, you let us know because after some of you deal with your family, you might need us entertain me.
Right. Thanksgiving special.
We might just make it the Thanksgiving special dealing with families. But I'm sorry, I cut you. How was the weekend?
No, 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 no. You good. You good. No, week is good. Work is good. Life is good. Let's go.
I love that. I absolutely love that. How is Atlanta? I'm gonna have to make my way out there like ASAP. Is it hot? Is it hot Atlanta right now or just Atlanta?
Just it's chilled Atlanta. Now some people may think it's cold, but you know, it's not getting snow, but it's a little chill. It's chilled Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Hmm.
it is not like Toronto, so I will take it. My week has been good. It was my birthday. I celebrated my 45th birthday
Woo!
on Tuesday. I know. I am so blessed. It's so funny when women are so funny about like saying what their age is. And for me, it's like I get to see another year. Like it is such a blessing for me to wake up and get to see another day because I know people my age who did not get that opportunity. And so I'm so blessed. But it was good. And then I returned to work today to go to a work event. It was really, really, really good event. I ended up getting a free centerpiece from the event. Can't hate on that. It's quite beautiful. So it's been good. I cannot complain. Truly blessed, and I'm looking forward to this weekend and everything that comes with that. So to get into the show, we are going to do Q&A for those of you who have watched the show before. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, I usually do some maybe tonight conversation cards. I'll pull some cards. We are not doing that. I have teamed up with ChatGPT to work on some questions, and I have 80 questions on a list. We're clearly not getting through 80 questions tonight, but we are going to get through a few, and I'm going to ask twins to pick a number. I'm going to ask those of you in the chat to participate and pick a number as well. Whatever number is chosen, that is the question I will ask and we will answer. So there's all kinds of different questions, relationship and commitment, intimacy and trust, deal breakers, all kinds of things. But we're going to make it work here. So, twins, do you want to start? Pick a number from 1 to 80.
Let's go with number 42 since that's my favorite number. So 42.
Number 42, and then Mr. Mister's got 17. Okay, we'll start with number 42. The question is, why do so many people only appreciate their partner after it's too late?
I think at that point they realized that what they had they took for granted, and now that person is now to a point of no return, right? And now that's where they feel like, okay, you know, hold on. The question is, why do they take them for granted after they leave? Right?
Yeah, so why do so many people only appreciate their partner after it's too late?
Yeah. Okay, let's make sure I was on path. Yeah, because they know that they can't get that person back. That's why.
Mm.
Because before they put it on back burner, oh, I'll do it, I'll get to it, whatever it may be. But once that person's done, like once they're at the point where they're like done, and they're showing that they're really done, that's when they'll try to kick it in gear. But by then it's too late. That person's been burnt out. Whatever the situation may be, they're now burnt out. And that's why it's like, I'm bye. But now they want to appreciate them. Now I want to do this, but it's too late.
I'm with you. I think it's like I'm the type of person that like I shut down completely, and that's when you've lost me. Like I'm the person who is we can go back and forth. The moment I just let you go, I'm mentally and emotionally out of there. And I think people do start appreciating people once that you know what really happens. I think once they've lost that person and they go back out on the market and they see what's there and they start going, oh, okay, this person wasn't so bad. Crap, they weren't actually bad at all, and maybe start realizing it's them. And then by that time, the person who felt unappreciated is like, no, I'm good. I'm good on this side. Because a good man or a good woman is going to bounce back fairly quickly, right? Like those
Right.
good qualities are good around anybody. But I think that's what happens once you're back out in the market. And as two divorced people, we get that. Like, I know my ex-husband is having a heck of a time. Sorry, I digress. It's not about me. This is about the people. But it does happen, right? Like you go back out in the market and you start going, oh, this is not what it's cracked up to be. And I think what do they say? What is the saying? Familiarity breeds contempt. Sometimes you're so familiar with someone and you start to like have contempt for them. And it's because, you know, we talk about all the time, there was a communication breakdown. If you could keep your communication together, then you'd be fine and be able to get over it. You think, no, this isn't worth it. And you leave that person or they leave you only to find out the grass is dry and brown on the other side of the fence. But that's that. So I'm going to go with Mr. Mr.'s choice. So Mr. Mr. has chosen number 17. For those of you who have just joined, we're doing a Q&A a little bit differently. I have questions 1 to 80 on here. You can pick a number in the chat. I will read the question and we will go ahead and answer them. So Mr. has chosen number 17. Can a relationship survive if one person is bad at sex?
I guess I'll go first on this one. Whew. If the sex started out good and then went bad because of XYZ, that could probably work. But if the sex started out bad, it's kind of hard to move forward in that for men. Okay, I'll say this for men
Mhm.
because like I said, women they can love past the sex part. You know, they'll love other trait of the person. He's a good man, XYZ. But for me, on my side, the guy's side, if the sex is horrible from the beginning, then there won't ever be a relationship. Right? I'm just sorry. That just, it. Listen, I'm called what it is. It just won't be in a relationship unless you're okay with me stepping out, having a side piece and XYZ. No, they ain't gonna work out. So
So
yeah,
you're saying like sex is up there for you to be in a relationship with a woman. Like you're not trying to commit to anybody that you have to kind of mold or teach or any of that. You're like, nah, I'm good.
no, that is a requirement. That's one form of it's a few things. It's connection, the bonding, right, for both sides, but also a
Mm-hmm.
release. So if I can't do that with you because it's that bad, right? Because it has to be horrible, right?
You're
Not that,
horrible.
not that the person needs more practice or something else. We're talking about the sex is just horrible. Doesn't matter what you do or watch or practice or toys is just bad. This ain't gonna work out. I'm sorry. Because especially if you're not a virgin, you know what I'm saying? Once you had a taste of something, it's kind of hard to
That's
unknown
good.
what it feels like. So, I mean, granted, we're all supposed to be virgins, right? That's why we shouldn't be sleeping around. So, because then I will know the sex is bad if we're both virgins, right? But because I've been in the market testing XYZ, no, bad sex, no go for me.
I'm with you to a certain extent. Like, for me, it depends on whether my partner is open to feedback and if he's willing to try, a few things that I am letting him know that I enjoy. Because I think what happens is a lot of women are afraid to have a conversation with a man and tell him he's bad at sex, right? Like, we will fake it, we will roll our eyes in the middle of it and just still take it and let him do his thing and just go talk about him behind his back to our girlfriends, right? We really will do that because we feel like men have fragile egos and, being in a situation where you have to tell a man something like that, he's gonna be like, well, nobody else has ever said that before. And so then, he tries to like put it on you. There are all of these different things that happen. So it depends on my partner. If they're open to feedback and understand what it takes to please me, because guess what? Like, what it might take to please the other girl, I don't care for that. Like, I want something else. But if he's tried it and it's flat out just awful, awful, I gotta go. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. It's forever because I'm committing to you, and I'm getting just not even mediocre like that. I'm sorry, boo boo. You can maybe there's a lovely lady for you. I'm not the lovely lady for you. Gotta go. Gotta go. So I am just gonna randomly scroll and see what my eyes land on. If my eyes are landing on question 68. Why do people settle for relationships they know aren't right for them? Again, why do people settle for relationships they know aren't right for them? I'm actually going to start with that. I think the answer is in the question. It's because they're settling, right? You often settle for relationships you know aren't right for one reason or another, right? Like whatever that reason might be. But I think it often happens when you're in a place where you're just like, you might think, what else is out there? Oh, they're not so bad. I could do worse. This person's really great, and you prop up all of their great characteristics, but they might be, back to our last question, they might be bad at sex, but it doesn't matter because they have all of these great traits, and you're just, there are times where I think people are just tired of dating. You ever met somebody who's just tired of dating? They're just like, I'm done. Like I don't want to do this. I don't want to go on these dates. I don't want to dress up. I don't want to have these conversations. And then somebody just comes along that fits enough of their boxes that they're like, yeah, I think this is this person. And something saying they don't have everything, but it's okay. And I think people just settle because they're settling. And they just don't want to be on the market and they want companionship. Now, I don't think that happens in toxic relationships. I think toxic relationships, and again, we try to stay away from the toxic relationships on this show. I think toxic relationships are something else, but when it's the person is a genuinely just an overall good person, they might not just be your ideal person, but they're good enough, and you're just tired of being on these dating streets. I think that can happen. The twins.
So to add another layer to it, I think a lot of people settle too because they just can't afford to be alone.
Ooh,
Inflation is
ooh.
real, cost of living is real, So some people settle because, it's just a combination of everything you're saying, plus don't want to be alone, but plus I don't feel like paying these bills all by myself. So they'll settle with certain people because that person pays half the bills. Kind of same thing with the whole sex. Okay, sex is bad, but the person pay half the bills. I couldn't survive without that person. So that's what a lot of people do that as well. Some people settle because they just for survival.
That is a good point, and I don't know why I didn't even think about that. I've never thought about that. That is true. There are a lot of people out there right now because somebody's contributing to the bills, and they're like, I don't want to give up this lifestyle. Because trust me, if I didn't have to pay some of these bills, I'd be living large. I'd be on somebody's beach, okay, with somebody's grandpapa or son, okay, it's like every other month. Because I'd be like, woohoo, I'm good. Like I already try to live below my means, but having somebody come in and pay, holy hell, that is such a good point. I would love to hear stories. If anybody knows people right now they know have settled for their partner because that partner helps them pay the bills to live a good life. That is actually a really good one. Mister, let me know if you have another number. Those of you, I see you guys watching. Come in the chat. Let's answer the questions again. And if you want to answer live on the show, or if you have a question that you want to ask us, feel free to do so. Drop it in the comment section or click the link that you see pinned at the top. You can come in and we can chat. You do not have to come on camera, but it would be great if you do. Twins, pick another number.
Another number. Let me spice it up because last usually this is after hours. So let's go with 69.
I didn't know you were going there. What is question 69? Okay. Is being emotionally open in a relationship a strength or a weakness? So again, is being emotionally open in a relationship a strength or a weakness?
I'm gonna say it's a strength. I wouldn't say weakness. Uh, just yeah, strength. I don't have a follow up to it, but I think being open and being emotional, like you're not a robot, you're a human person, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go with the strength.
I would say it's a strength too, but it's a scary thing, right? Vulnerability for a lot of us is weakness because you are opening up yourself to another person to potentially hurt you. And that is a lot for most people, right? Like now I've given myself to you and you have the ability to take these feelings that I have for you or things I've said to you to then turn around and hurt me. And I think that's what makes it in many people's mind a weakness. But for me, I think it's the strength to be able to give yourself to somebody, to open up to somebody in so many ways. Like living in a world that's so closed off, I don't think that helps you in any way professionally or personally. So I think it's a strength. However, it also can bring you to your weakest point, being so emotionally available to someone, like when they actually do hurt you, that can weaken you, man. Like that can weaken you to the knees. And I think that's why some people avoid it. Like I said so many times, there are a lot of women who would prefer to give their bodies than their hearts. Because I can stop giving you my body, but when that heart hurts, oof.
It totally agree. So of course, I would say anyone's listening, I wouldn't come out the gate in relationship being so emotional, free with it. I mean, gauge it, of course, because like you just said, you don't want to be hurt, right? So don't come out the gate all emotional, right? Because then you might scare somebody away. But moderation, as time go on, you see that the relationship is establishing to something more. You can let your guard down just a little bit at a time. Don't give it all at one time, because yeah, I'm gonna hit the road running. If you first day we talking, you give me a whole life story with everything's going on. I'm like, yo, you got too much going on because you don't share all that on day one. So yes,
I appreciate that.
in
That was
moderation.
great advice. Really good advice. And Mr. said it's foolish. Mr. gonna have to expand on that, but he just overall said it's foolish. Again, anybody else have a number? Drop it in the chat. We are happy to do it. I'm just gonna scroll and I'm gonna go to just question number one. It's the easiest thing to do. Okay. If your partner's ex needed help, would you expect them to step in or step away? Again, so your current partner, their ex needs help. Would you expect them to step in to help them or step away? Thoughts?
If they're the ex, that's going we're gonna dead that right there. Unless it's a life or death situation, like seriously, like it has to be like when you are dating someone or spend time, you build connections with the family, right? So if my ex would call me and say that, I don't want to speak nothing crazy in the air, but if something happened to a family member that I know that I was close to them, right? Me and her are not together no more, but I still have love for the family that they didn't burn their bridges with me. And they call me and say, hey, XYZ, I got love to that person. I didn't marry that person. I married you, but I married that person. So if something happens, depending what it is, I may, help out depending on what it is. But aside that, no, no, you're an ex for a reason. So on top, so another double edged sword to that. If you're my ex, then more likely me, you didn't work out. So you kind of lose the resources you had of me. See, if we was together or something happened, I'm there for you. But if I become an ex and something happened, don't call me. You lose that benefit by when you lost me. So I play double edge, I go both sides. I'm done.
I guess that. For me, it depends on if they have kids. If the help that's required is going to help the children because the children or child, I have a max of two children, that will just go with child. The child lives in the home with her and therefore not getting the help which impacts the child. I absolutely expect him to step in. However, if it's just help for her, bona fide for that. Again, I will put the caveat that you started with, unless if it's life or death. If she needs a kidney or something and he's a match and she won't live, like that's something else because I believe that. But outside of that, no, like bye girl, like what are you talking about? Um, Mr. and Mrs. says, depends on the help. Too many women exes are the bank robber, the drug dealer, the serial impregnator. Who are these women you know, Mr. Mister? Jeff Short said, dang, I'm late. Good evening, y'all. Hey, Jeff, we are just doing Q&A. I've got 1 to 80 questions. Pick a number, Jeff, and I'll read that question. Royce Monroe says, why are you in contact with an ex unless children are involved? So Rice Monroe and I are on the same page. Unless kids are involved, like, what are you talking about? Okay. Royce Monroe chose question 45, which is my favorite number right now because I just turned 45. Okay. Do people fall in love with their partner or just the idea of who they are? Ooh, I'm going to repeat that one. Do people fall in love with their partner or just the idea of who they are? I'm going to start. I'm going to say it's a combination of both. I think often what happens is when you start a relationship, you think you have an idea of who this person is, right? Because of what they've shown you, what they say, all of those things. And of course, as you get to know them more, they're either going to draw you closer to them or they're going to repel you, right? And that I think what happens, right? Especially if the idea you have of them isn't what you thought they were in the beginning. And I've learned no relationship is perfect, no person is perfect. We're going to have our ups, downs, and all the different things, and people are going to show cracks, right? But what can you deal with? Can I deal with this over time? Is this behavior? Is it a moment in time that they're having, or is this part of their character that I have to live with? So I definitely think it's a combination of both. But again, we all talk about it comes to communication. I think we need to be talking more. We need to be talking a lot more. What do you expect out of this relationship? What is, like in my last relationship, we had a no disrespect policy, and what did that look like? And what it would mean if there was disrespect. I think a lot more people need to talk about those things. How do you handle stressful situations? How would you deal with if I did this in this manner? I think if you had more communication and you talk more, I think you'll fall in love with a person when you are highly attracted to how they communicate with you. Because I'm a big communicator. But that's my 2 cents. Twins, your thoughts?
I'm supposed to follow all of that.
Yes.
uh, so I think probably a lot of people do fall. A lot of people kind of rush into a relationship for something because the potential, right? How many times you've heard that? Oh, he has great potential, or she has great potential.
Mm,
So that happens a lot when people think that okay, there could be something there. So I'm just gonna go with the potential side because I hear that a
yeah.
lot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he has no kids, I have no kids, or this and this. And, we're both young, but y'all really haven't communicated a lot of things. You really haven't put time on each other. So you kind of force it and hope that it'll work. So, no. Yeah, that's all I got.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for those in the chat. Mr. has chosen question number 12. So, question number 12. If your partner confessed they didn't believe in monogamy, would you try to make it work?
So they don't believe in anymore, right? So I would
Yeah, they don't
assume
believe
that
in monogamy.
they have done it and no more, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say this because I've been recently divorced, right? At first, I was like, no, I'm never doing that again. I'm trying some, I'm open to whatever. All women, of course, whatever. But then you gotta be clear. You be clear, just women only.
You're
Okay.
in Atlanta. You're in Atlanta. I get it.
So, but after just talking and having communication with women X, Y, Z, and knowing myself, one, I don't like to share, right? So it sounded good, but it's like no. I had to get down to the root of the reason of why I was thinking that. It was more because one, I just came out of a divorce, so it was like I feel that going that route failed me, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't a fail. It's just that situation that I was in didn't work out. So I can't take every relationship going forward that way. And like, you know what? Let me try. Let me jump off the bridge and try something totally different now. No, let me try a different type of, not different type. Just leave that situation to where it is. Right. That's one thing you say. Leave your past. Let the past be your past. Don't move it on to the next person. So I had to mentally just get that checked out of my head. Okay, that was that situation. So going forward, I'm still going to stick to what I know, but I'm not going to try anything different new. But but if I was with somebody who wants to do something different, it probably wouldn't work for me because I don't like to share. Just to answer that question. So no, I wouldn't like to share. So no, that wouldn't work out. That'd be a deal breaker.
You know, years ago, I would have answered this question differently. I do believe monogamy is unnatural. I think it's something that we have to work on. I think it isn't just natural for a man to be with me and oh, forsake all others, right? Like, I think he has to make a conscious effort to say Toshiba is the woman I'm going to be with, and therefore I'm going to commit to her. Um, but I wouldn't be able to try to make it work. At this stage in my life, I want a man who's committed to me and what we have. If he wants to explore other avenues in our relationship to spice it up, I am open to that. Like I can buy a purple wig, a yellow wig, a pink wig, a blonde wig. I can be whoever we want. I can put on an accent, right? We can meet at a bar. We can do whatever. But to say that he's gonna want to open up the relationship, maybe a few years ago I'd have been like, at this stage in my life, no, because I think it takes a lot of work, and I want a man who's committed to the work it takes to be in a solid monogamous relationship. And people, it does take work, right? Like it is not actually natural for us to forsake all others. Like we really are here to be fruitful and multiplying. A lot of people are doing a lot more multiplication than twins and I could ever imagine. Like there's a lot of that happening, but you do have to put in the work. So I'm sorry, babe. I'd have to be like, no, go find you that woman at this stage in my life. She's just not me. So Mr. says nope. Royce Monroe says nope. It's unhealthy. Mr. says that's inviting all types of germs into your bedroom. Hell nah. Royce Monroe says, nasty work, she for the streets. Okay. Jeff Short has chosen number 15. Here we go. If your partner has a, sorry, if your partner had a secret bank account, would you feel betrayed or relieved?
I have seen this conversation go on in the past where there's a couple, married couple, whatever, right? And the husband is normally been the breadwinner, right? Take care of everything. And situation happened where he lost his job and he working 2, 3, 4 job, trying to maintain the same lifestyle that he had before. And then later on, he finds out his ex-wife, or not his current wife, excuse me, but still together, had an account that has over $100,000 in there, and she did not one time open her mouth to help mention that she had the money or try to help out. But he had her struggling, working 3, 4 jobs, and that just kind of ruined the trust in the relationship and all that. So yeah, that's definitely unhealthy. I wouldn't recommend that. Ladies, if you have a bank account, cool. Honestly, I recommend women, you should have a bank account put aside, right? But when something happens with the family, that's when you step up and say, hey, babe, guess what I've been doing this time? I got us. So that wouldn't bother me. When I was married, if something would have happened, financially, and I lost a job or got hurt, XYZ, and I know what I was going to do, and wife said, baby, I got us. I've been putting money to the side for a rainy day for this to happen. I'm cool. I'm like, first I'm like, what? Really? But then I was like, thank you. Then I'm happy, right? If especially if she's sharing it. But in that scenario, she wasn't sharing it. So the guy felt betrayed. So yeah.
Here's my thing: is it shouldn't be a secret. It shouldn't be a secret bank account. It should, again, going back to communication, it should be a conversation. When I get married, I expect that we are going to have an account that we're paying bills out of, and I expect that we're going to have an investment account, and then I expect that we're going to have a fun account, right? Like that. So we're going to have three different accounts. The one out of bills, it probably will be both of our names, and then we'll decide between the two of us who has the investment account and who has the fun account. And it's both our money going into either, right? Like I believe in paying yourself first, whether we say, you know what, 10% of our monthly income is going to go into the fun account, and then 20% of our monthly income is going into the investment account, and then whatever, right? Like there's all of these different scenarios, but I just think this is where the communication breaks down. Here's the thing: a lot of women, and this happens for women. Men don't generally just run around and have secret bank accounts. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's millions of men who just have secret bank account, but it's unlikely. We're told as women to have mad money, right? It's called mad money. When he pisses you off and you're mad, you got money so you can leave. And so there's always an escape plan. And for me, if we're a unit and we're a couple, there should be nothing that's a secret when it comes to those finances. We should be able to have a discussion and lay everything out. And if I make 80,000 and he makes 120,000, now we make 200,000. How much do we want to, save every year? How much do we want to invest every year? Because if we want to invest, $20,000, that's only 10% of our income a month. And then, okay, we're like, our living expenses about 30% of our income, over the year or whatever it is. Like, these are discussions we should be able to have. So I'd be pissed off if I found out that my man had a secret bank account, and I would never have a secret bank account for my man. If that is the man I've decided that we are getting married, and I'm talking about a boyfriend. See, we're not talking about boyfriends and people you're dating. We're talking about your partner in life, the person you have married. No, I would be thoroughly pissed if I found out my husband had a secret bank account. Royce Monroe says, it don't matter. It's not your money unless it's made off or with the person, and Twins Point 100. It don't matter. It's not your money. I don't understand. Unless it's made. I don't understand. Royce Monroe, if you can elaborate on that, because I actually don't understand what you're trying to say. But moving on. Twins, choose a number.
Number 80.
Number 80. Oh, we went right to the bottom. Okay. Oh, okay. They actually asked this question twice.
Okay.
No.
Then
So
79.
we're gonna actually what number?
79.
79. Okay. Okay. How do you trust someone again after they've broken your heart? Again, how do you trust someone again after they've broken your heart?
I'm about to get that question and pass it over to you, to the ladies. And, and I'm gonna say this because yeah, I might redirect the question, but I'm gonna throw it back to y'all because I want to know, ladies, how do y'all do it? So hold on, before you say it. So ladies, so same scenario, but I'm asking you this question because women are more likely to forgive a man who stepped out and cheated. How do y'all do that? Because that's a no-go for me. Even if, go ahead.
That here, I think here's the thing. It is the sum of the whole. I think it starts with that, right? If I'm in a situation and I'm looking at the entirety of the relationship, right? So, give you a scenario. I'm with my man for 5 years, and we've been in 5 years of bliss. Of course, we have ups and downs because we're humans and we have emotions, but overall, the relationship has been good. We have blossomed together. We have businesses together. We're making money. We got investments. Like we're living a good life. We're traveling, like living our best life. And he has one moment of indiscretion. Do I throw the whole thing away for one moment of indiscretion? That is the question I would have to ask myself. Would it hurt? Yes. Right? But if you had $1 million, and as you're counting your $1 million, $100,000 of those bills are soiled, are you going to throw away $900,000 because $100,000 of the bills are soiled? No, you're going to hold on, and you're actually probably going to try to figure out how to get those 100,000 unsoiled, right? You're going to figure it out. So I think the same way we do is, I think women tend to walk away from those heartbreak situations when the relationship was crap anyways. He just wasn't a good man to me. And this was the excuse I needed to leave. Because sometimes it is scary for us to leave. When you're in a relationship and you think you found your person, and let me tell you, I don't love dating. I'm exhausted of the dating market. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't like to do it. I don't like the pretend. I don't like any parts of it. And the older I get, the less I like it. And so if I find a really good man, I want to try to hold on to him, right? And so I think that's what happens when we have good, overall good men, and good men do bad things sometimes. I would say that about my father. My father was a flawed man, but he was a great daddy, and even the women in his life that he, was in romantic relationships with. Clearly, my mother was one of them. My mother always spoke about him in the most positive light. And my dad did some not so great things, but his positivity shined more than the negative things he did. So I know this is a long answer that I'm giving, but I think that's what it comes down to. I'm not sure I'd be willing to throw away all of the good times for one indiscretion. Now, if he was having a long term affair or just was doing things that morally I couldn't come back from, yeah, then I've got to go. But if it's, going out with the boys, had a night of indiscretion, and he tells me, as much as I would hate that, I'm not walking away from all of those years of goodness. That's the best answer I got.
There you go. There you go. I'm good.
So, Mr. says, what reason would I have to trust them again? Oh, men, y'all are like
Oh yeah, we cutthroat.
savage.
We is cutthroat. We is
Yeah. So you could not, if a
nope.
woman did something, and I'm not going to say to break your heart, because some of y'all men feel like you're gangsters, you ain't got no heart. But if a woman did something
I'm a
to
gangster. What
break your trust, to break your trust, which led you to having hurt feelings, that would be it.
so the cheating, that's a no go. That's number one. There's no comeback from that, right? Because unlike men, we don't cheat emotionally. We just do it and that's it. If a woman cheats, or like my girlfriend or my wife cheats, that's emotional attachment there. The communication had to start for you to think that even having sex with that person. So that's why it's a no go. Now, if like disrespect, right? If that happens, we can get past it. But if you continually keep doing it, no, I can't trust
Yeah.
you anymore because clearly you don't care anymore, right? So certain things we can't give it past for. And but the thing is, if it keeps happening over and over again, and you're not trying to prove it, or you don't care, then no, I don't. I can't trust you anymore. I already got nothing in the world to worry about. Why I'm gonna keep? Why the person I should not be sleeping with the enemy, right?
Oh,
That's how I look at it. I should, I'm already dealing with the world itself. I shouldn't have to come home and have to still fight another enemy, right? So that's why you need to be my peace. Sorry.
there's that. Okay. Mr. says trust is hard to earn and easily lost. So there we go. Okay. Mr. had chosen question number 25. So let me find that. Okay. What's one thing people do in relationship that's an instant turn off? I'll let you think. I'll start. Consistently badmouth their ex. That actually irritates me because you, especially coming from a man, you chose that woman, right? Like there is the premise that men choose relationships and women choose sex. We choose who we give our bodies to, but you choose to commit to us. Because I can't say, hey, babe, let's do this relationship thing. And you're like, the fuck? No, like I just came for the sex. It's usually the man who chooses the relationship. So when a man consistently bad mouths his ex, I'm just like, yeah, that you haven't done any self reflection, because you have to think about, why was I in a relationship with this woman, and what have I learned from being in a relationship with this woman. Like, I understand that things don't work out. If you tell me a story as to why, hey, this is when I knew this was ending, and this is when I knew I had to step away from this because it wasn't healthy for me, and this is the lessons I learned, that's one thing. But if she ain't this, and she couldn't F, and she couldn't cook, and she's a bad mom, and she's all of this, like, yeah, and it's a no for me though. Twins.
That's a good one. That's true though. I've actually talked to a lady, a woman, of course. Gotta be clear on that, women only. But they will keep constantly bringing up the ex. I'm like, but you chose him.
That part.
Like, like I get things happen, like you just said, right? I get it, the fact that whatever it happened. But the thing is that, but at one point, y'all were in love. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was in love. Your legs up in the air. You know what I mean?
Not the
You
legs
know
up
what I
in
mean?
the
Y'all was doing
air.
XYZ. You know what I'm saying? And then don't let a child come out of it, right? A child come out of it, like stop it. You get that man the ultimate gift. So you can't sit here and keep bashing him talking about he ain't this, he ain't that. You gave that dude the ultimate gift. So if you gave somebody the ultimate gift, it's like I gotta question you. Like, so this is decisions that you making out here. So if he was that, you couldn't tell that he was that while y'all was talking. Like, make it make sense. So yeah, so constantly bashing the ex like that, yeah, that's gonna be a red flag. Because in the day, I'm saying, well, it takes two to tango, right?
That part.
So you had to play a part in whatever it may be. That's how I look at it.
Amen.
Yep.
And Mr. Mister's answer is disrespect. He also says, if you don't like something and she does it anyways, and then downplays it when you address it, that's a huge turn off and highly disrespectful. Agreed. I can agree with that. Okay. Jeff has chosen number 73. Let us go. Number 73. Is social media exposing the cracks in relationships or creating them?
Ooh, both. It's both. I'm saying it's definitely exposing. Social media, I'll say this. Social media, I said this before now on the show, but I said it many times. Social media is kind of ruling, messing up relationships. And I says because this, back in the days when you dated someone, you only date someone that was in your city, maybe your state. That's the farthest you may go, right? Now that there's social media, you can date people all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So the local guy, so people used to marry, right? So, so people used to marry people locally in their community or locally in their town. Now you can get flown out all across the world now. So it's kind of hard for most men, the average man, can compete with, Mr. Jimmy, who's a CEO of this company who flies girls down every other weekend. I can't compete with that. You understand what I'm saying? Or take them on a cruise every week, whatever. So that's why, like, that part kind of hurts. Also, women feel that their value is more what they are. Like they think they're higher, they can get whatever they want, right? Because it's easy pickings. So it's. Oh, I'm sorry. I see the faces over there. I ain't taking nobody. It's not a personal attack. I'm just saying overall. I just know women, the entitlement is through the roof now. Dating now. You know what I'm saying? Because they get to pick and choose what they want. They get 101 DMs, and you just go through and pick who you want to talk to, right? So versus men, we can slide 100 DMs, but you have to choose us, right?
That is
Women,
true.
she sits back and go to your page and see your followers and X, Y, Z. Oh, he got this pictures. Okay, let me get him an opportunity. So it does hurt overall.
Before I answer, I'm going to say what our viewers are saying. So Mr. and Mrs. says it's exposing for sure. And Jeff Short says, I would say it's creating them, in my opinion. I'm going to agree it's a combination of both. And I agree with the things that you've said. The thing about social media is it's provide access that has never provided before, like you said, right? I am more accessible to millions of men around the world. And at any point they feel that by sliding into my DM or offering me trips or so forth, it doesn't matter if I have a man. It doesn't matter if I'm single. There are some men who do not care. There are men who feel no way with me saying, I'm with my man. They're like, do you want to come to Miami this weekend or Atlanta or whatever? They don't give two shit. They're just waiting for the opportunity for me to say yes. So I do think it's because we are so acceptable, it does create issues and cracks. But I think it's one of those things. I think we talked about it last week or week before. Mr. and Royce Monroe were in agreement in terms of like sometimes you got to keep your relationship private. You got to protect that part of you. Like you can curate your social media to the point where your relationship is never in jeopardy, right? And how do you go about that, right? How do you go about making sure that I can still have a social media presence, but it doesn't impact my day to day life, especially my relationship? And I think that there's a way to navigate both. Like, we clearly have a social media presence, but I would never allow my social media presence to fracture anything in my actual day to day life. I think it often creates cracks when there were already cracks, right? Like, yeah, if there's cracks in my relationship and you ask me to go to Miami this weekend, I may just go to Miami this weekend. If my relationship is solid, I'm gonna tell you keep your trip, right? Like it all depends. If you catch me on a bad day and I had an argument and things aren't great, I'm thinking about breaking up with my man, but you come and you say you're gonna fly me to Bermuda, I might just go to Bermuda. But if things are good, then I'm not. And that's what happens. Some of those things happen emotionally because of the place that people are in. And again, because we're easily accessible now, I can be flown out tomorrow. No questions asked, but I digress. Mr. said, social media allows you to compare and contrast. It lets you trade notes with other men. It teaches you the culture and the game. Interesting. Jeff Short says, but people will take you keeping your relationship private as you're hiding or ashamed of your partner. I done said last week, ain't not a person gonna see my man until my wedding day. Okay? You're gonna see his watch, you're gonna see all kinds of different things. But until that day that I'm walking down the aisle, listen, I can switch out boyfriends for the next 3 years. Y'all won't know because whoever I end up down the aisle with, that could have been my man the whole time or not. So at this point, it is what it is.
But also add to it this, right? We're talking about social media, right? Doesn't mean that when you go out on dates or hang out, you're not hanging out with friends and family. Your friends and family know who your guy is, who you're talking to right now.
That,
But social media, like, y'all not my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. You're not my friends. So I cannot put you on social media because, I mean, y'all matter, but y'all really don't matter. Respectfully, you know? So,
thank you, respectfully.
I mean, respectfully. At the end of the
Respectfully.
day, when I'm out hanging out, people see me. I'm in the city. It ain't like I'm hiding you. Like we're sticking out to the club, sticking out to the restaurant, sticking out to the movies. No, we're going all places. You just ain't here locally. But go ahead. I
That part.
digress.
That part. I love that. That's the part. Your friends and the people who are in your social circle know who it is. Social media is not your social circle. Okay? Social media is, again, social media is not your social circle. Okay? Message, as twins would say. Okay, Jeff says, number 37, thank you guys for choosing. Makes it easier for me and twins. So number 37. Okay. Can exes ever really stay friends, or is that just asking for trouble?
Yeah, I'm guilty for this one. So it's definitely asking for trouble. Once they're ex, fellas, let her go. Let her go. Block them. Mm-mm. Not because there is,
Not Bravo.
not because, I think it's, if you want to have a healthy new relationship, your past history should not be popping up in your new relationship, right? No, never. So I would say once you move on, my thing is once she became an ex, apparently she didn't do what she was supposed to do, become the wife. So she's an ex for a reason. It's kind of how I see it. So if you're the ex, Sorry, but I got to move on. So that chapter is closed. I can't keep looking back. Got to move forward, especially if I want not better, but I mean, well, yes, of course, better. That's how I look at it.
I think you can be friendly. I'm not sure the extent of a friendship, right? Especially if that friendliness or friendship is impacting what you're currently in. And what you're currently in has to take precedence over your past relationship. So I think that's what you have to think about. I've got exes that I'm still friendly with. I have exes that I could hang out with, but I wouldn't, because how would my man feel about him being in another city and I'm out here talking about, yeah, babe, I'm just out here at the movies with my ex.
No, no. What we
It's
talking about?
no. It's no. So I think we can do the wishing of happy birthdays and checking in on the kids and what's going on, but we're not friendly to the point where we're having spa dates and movie dates and you're coming over for a home cooked meal, right? Like I think that's overstepping it. So I'm all about being friendly, but not necessarily being friends. Mr. Mrs. says they can stay friends under certain conditions. However, if your current partner, however, your current partner may have a big problem with it, which is basically what I was just saying. So Mr. concurs. So Mr. says number 68. And oh, we did that. So I'll do 67, Mr. since we did 68. Let's do 67. What's worse, being stuck in a situationship or staying in a bad relationship? Can someone please define twins? Can you please define to me what a situationship is? Is it a relationship without the title relationship?
I think so. I never had one of those before. A situationship,
It's weird.
but
That whole concept is weird to me.
yeah. But what's the second part of the question? You think
So
we?
what's worse,
What's worse?
being stuck in a situationship or being in a bad relationship?
Being in a bad relationship is worse because more likely in that relationship, you're kind of like you're like y'all officially together, right? So
Yeah,
it's not like a situationship, right? Like, oh, my friend over there, we got a little situation going on. No, this is my girlfriend or this is my wife, and
yeah.
things are bad, and what I'm saying, more likely y'all live together. There's a lot other pieces that come together in that. So I hate, so it's worse to be in a bad relationship versus a situationship.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go with that relationship. No other explanations needed. You gave enough.
Right.
And Mr. is helping me out here. He said situationship is when she likes him, but he's met about her. So I guess it could be true of the other. He likes her, but she's met about him. But then what's the point? I guess it goes back to that. Maybe maybe situationships are really a form of companionship. Maybe that's really what they are. Situationships are just somebody you're compatible with, you don't want to be with, but they provide you companionship until the person you want to be in a relationship with comes along. I guess
It sounds like another term of friends with benefits.
that's what I thought. Except people say maybe friends with benefits, you're not doing the relationship type stuff. So you're not going to dinners and movies. It's, the call after the club or whenever, and you're doing the damn thing in the patty woo ha. But I think in situationships, why they get complicated is it's a mask as a real relationship without the title. That's why I think the hurt feelings come is you're doing everything like we're in a relationship, but we're not in a relationship, which means you can do this with several other people because we're not in a relationship. And if I see you out on the road doing this with somebody else, I'm actually not entitled to say ish because we're not in a relationship. That's what gets it screwed up. And people's feelings are going to get involved if you're doing this months and years on. Like women don't sign up for this dumb crap. Don't do that. Like that's why would you do this to yourself? Like why? But I digress. Jeff Short, a situationship is basically a constant hookup partner. Okay, that's a good way to put it. Mr. Mrs. said friends with benefits, but she wants it to be a relationship. and and Jeff Spade came up with Patty Wua. Jeff Short, it is like my favorite term for the nether region. Okay, we are going to do a couple more, and I am going to go ahead and pick. We'll probably just do a few more, so let us know what numbers you want to do in the chat. I am going to go with number 8. Should your partner's dreams always take priority over practical realities? So, should your partner's dreams always take priority over practical realities? I have a simple answer: hell to the no.
We can move on from there. I mean, that's pretty much cut and dry.
Like, we're at some point in our big age, right? We're grown up, right? We're at a big age. If you're, how long have you been working on said dreams? Because if you're 55 and I'm 45, and you've got 10 more years on me, and you've been working on this since you're 25, and it's been 3 decades, and you still haven't fulfilled your dreams, sir, sir, sir.
Let
No.
me give you an example. Give an example. So, ladies, if you're talking to a guy who was a rapper and he's now in his late 40s and he's still dropping mixtapes, but they ain't got to deal with nobody, that's the prime example of let it go.
The rapper. It's always the rapper. It's always the rapper.
Hey, well, we all got that one friend who think they still can, they still feel they can rap. We all got that friend. I'm like, he's still rapping? He ain't got a deal yet? Or he ain't producing people? Like, okay, you're past the age now of being an actual rapper yourself, but you can actually be at the point where you can be the ghostwriter behind the scene. You still can do it, but let it go.
I'm with you, ladies. Don't be with no aspiring 4-year-old rapper. That's silly. Silly. Anyways, you're gonna be broke and hungry. Mr. just plain old said no. So there we go. Okay, pick a number, twin.
22.
22. Okay. Could you be happy in a relationship where you don't feel fully understood? So I'm going to repeat. Could you be happy in a relationship where you don't feel fully understood?
No.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's no. If you don't no, if you don't feel appreciated or understood, there's always gonna be a disconnect somewhere because they just don't understand you, right? So no, that's not gonna work out. Find somebody who's gonna understand who you are and what you're trying to convey, what you're trying to do. Yeah.
I'm going to answer this, especially if the person's not even trying to understand you, right? Like I think that that's the part. Like it's people that bother me who say things like, "Well, I can do something, so why can't you?" Right? Or I don't understand how other people can't do this because I can do it. Like not recognizing the uniqueness that's within us. And I'm always like, let's meet people where they are, and once you meet them there, can you stay there with them? Right? Like, are you willing to stay there with them because this is who they are? And so I'm with you. Like, if someone's not even trying to understand me or who feels like I should be the way that they are, yeah, I'm good. We're good on that. Mr. and Mrs. said, hell nah. How can I confide in her when that's the case? I 100% agree. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. says number 28. I'm gonna take maybe 4 more questions. So number 28 is K. Okay, I think we just did that. I forgot to cross it off. We did do that because we talked about situationship. Okay, we're gonna do in that case. You know what we'll do? Number 29, Mr. Okay. Why do people stay with someone who isn't giving them what they need?
We kind
I'm
of
gonna answer.
we
Kind of go ahead.
no, you can go ahead, but I think we answered already. But go ahead.
I feel like we did. It's because they're giving them what they want.
And also, it's that you know they can't do it by themselves. So
Bingo, bingo.
yeah,
if you're not giving me what I need, you might as well be giving me what I want. Because we're not doing this. Okay, I'm gonna go to some of the bottom ones. We haven't done a couple here, so I'm gonna go with number 56. Number 56. Have you ever fantasized about someone else while being with your partner?
Guilty. This is when I was young, super young. Yes, I was with a girl, but I actually wanted someone else. So yeah, that yeah. Don't do that, fellas. It's not good.
I
Because
sure have.
because what happened was when you do get the opportunity to talk to that one person that you had a crush on, you're gonna drop the other one like a bad habit because you've been waiting for that one for the longest, and then don't let it be that you do that and then it doesn't work out. Now you lost two women, the one that you crushed on and the one that you had. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna end bad for you. So the when I was young, I did that. Young, I'm talking about young. Guilty.
I'm definitely guilty. I have definitely fantasized about someone else while being with somebody that I was with. It hasn't happened in a while, but for me, it was always the same person. There was just this one person that would just sneak in to my thoughts, and I'd be like, "Damn it, Toshiba!" But it would help me while my partner was in my patty patty woo-ha to get to where I needed to be because I would think about that person because he knew what to do with my patty patty woo-ha. He was a master at the patty rhythm. He could teach some classes. So, okay. So I definitely have done that, but I agree, don't do that. Don't do that, everyone. Talk to your partner about what you need, or just don't f with that person. Like, don't put somebody through that. It's emotional torture. I get,
Yeah.
we're grown folks now. I'm 45 years old. I'm not gonna put my partner through this. If I'm not enjoying the intimacy that I'm having with my current partner, I'm gonna let them know we're gonna work on it, and if we can't, then we just need to go our separate ways and call it a day. Because I'm not staying in a relationship with bad sex, as we talked about earlier in the show. But
Mm.
yeah, it's unfair to that person. Just chat with them, and hopefully you can get through it. Mr. said, "A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush." Good night, sir. Okay. I'm gonna wait to see who else drops a number in the chat. But twins, give me a number.
Number two.
Number two. Who could you stay with someone you loved? Sorry, could you stay with someone who loved you deeply but wasn't ambitious?
No,
Hmm.
no, because yeah, I had this relationship before that I loved the girl a lot, but she had no drive, no ambition to do nothing different with her life. Like if I call her right now, still live home with her mom, still look good. I asked how much you got in your savings? $50. I'm like, what are we talking about? We're in our 40s now. Like, what are we talking about? So no. Because how I look at it is this, I say, if we're in a relationship, right, and something happens to me and I'm the breadwinner, how are you gonna hold the family down? Just saying. How? If you can't be an adult all by yourself before I'm back in the picture, that's a problem. So I had to walk away from that situation. Even though that person was a great woman, she cooked, she cleaned, she did everything, took care of me. She had all the check off everything I needed, but she had no drive. She was
Mm,
cool working where she worked, and that was it. No drive.
mm.
So no, that's let it go.
I mean, as a woman, I think this answer is going to be obvious. It's a hell to no. Like, the ambition is sexy. There's nothing sexier than a driven man, right? Like a man who's resilient and determined. And I am absolutely attracted to those type of men, especially those who inspire me to be greater, right? Because I'm already doing my thing and have my drive and doing all of that. So to have a man who's okay being the 40-year-old rapper who's still trying to get his mixtape out, but he's really not really trying anything because he's not even out on the corner having it out of his, like, he's doing nothing. He's not doing nothing. Now I'm good. Like, it's just, that's not sexy, and that sounds like I'm going to be hungry, and we can't do that. Mr. and Mrs. says no, can't do it. She's going to be a huge liability. There you go. Well, that's basically what Twins just said. Huge liability. Okay. Number 30, and then I'll take one more after that. Um, we're going to do our dating tip. So, Mr. get your dating tip ready. And those of you watching, if you have a dating tip, please put it in the chat, or again, the link to come on the show is in the comment section. So, number 30, huh? Should love come with conditions? Question mark. And what are yours? Oof, oof.
Love should be unconditional, but you know, so I think in this day and age, you may have to have conditions with the love. To be honest with you, especially for,
It's love.
especially for
Go
my
ahead.
married men, especially for my married men, fellas, you might want to have this because love comes and goes. I said this before, right? Love comes and goes. So what else can you fall on, right? So you need to have some stipulations. You need to have, okay, even if right now you ain't loving me, you still gonna do X, Y, Z. So respect, appreciation,
Hmm.
like those things should be the love should be the top, and everything should be subtitles below it. So yes, I think that should work in a relationship because when you have kids, right, in a marriage, all of a sudden now you become secondary, and those kids get that unconditional love that you thought you had with your wife. And so when the kids pop up, the kids get the moon, the stars, and above. And you get, oh yes, daddy over there. Now you chop liver all of a sudden. Like damn, that used to be me over there. You be sitting there jumping the kids like, dang. I remember I used to be able to suck on them titties. I'm sorry, y'all. Joking, had to throw it in there, wake y'all up. This breastfeeding, ha ha, joke. Like, share, subscribe. Go ahead.
Sorry. It's funny. I actually don't think love between romantic partners can be unconditional. I think love between your children and yourself, parent and child, is unconditional because your child could be bad as all heck. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer's mama still loves him. I'm sure she may not ever speak to him, but she loves the child because that's the child and it came from her. I think romantic relationships are different. I think love does absolutely come with conditions or boundaries, right? They could be conditions or they could be boundaries. But I think because the love is fleeting, it's a fleeting thing. So again, your relationship has to be built on a stronger foundation than love. If all you got is love, don't waste your time getting married. Like seriously, says the divorcee. Okay, if love is all you got, do not marry. You need to have a stronger foundation. So, and I think that's what those conditions do. Like, it's actually not a negative thing to have conditions. It's just the basis of the foundation that you build the relationship with, because there are going to be moments you might not like your partner, but you love them. And their first part, you love them, but you don't like them. And then some days you don't, not either. But those, like you said, respect, loyalty, trust, all of those things that you've built the foundation of your relationship on, those are still there. So I do definitely think um, that love should come with conditions. And one of my conditions is I want my partner to be my peace. I absolutely, like, I meditate, drink water, and mind my business. Like, I actually, this is actually what I do on a day-to-day basis. I meditate, I do all those things. And when your partner starts being a bit of the turmoil in your life and you need to get away from them to find peace consistently, again, not something that happens every once in a while, because Jamaicans have a saying, teeth and tongue will meet, which means that you will argue, right? It's going to happen when you're sharing life with someone else. But if it's every day consistently and I'm now getting away from you to find peace, that's a condition in a relationship. Like, that's my number one. I can't do it for a long period of time. So I think that would be the case. But yeah, I think they're just building blocks for a good foundation. So that's what I would say to that. Okay, let me see what section we haven't answered a lot for. So we're going to go with number 53. We're going to end it with some spice. Do you think you've ever been someone's best sexual experience?
I'm gonna say yes. One, I know for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, positively, yes. I don't think I know because they told me so, and they kept trying to come back for more. Many years later, they saw me in a club, whispered in my ear, and was like, "Do you remember that time, Sheba, that we were?" And I was like, "Damn! Like we were in our 20s and dating. Now we're like 30 something." But thank you. I I appreciate it. I've improved my skills over the years, but I digress. So I definitely, I definitely
I think we all have improved our skills. Hmm.
so I definitely think, and I think there are people who do think. And here's the funny part: is there's a lot of people who like probably thought that they were your best or they were my best, and it's not even like close. And it's because sometimes you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, especially men. I find that men don't want to hurt women's feelings. We actually don't have a problem when it comes to sex hurting your feelings, if we're honest. Like
So me,
we don't.
so yeah, for me, I don't emotional damage. I ain't gonna ask. I don't want to know.
You
I
definitely don't ask.
Yeah,
Definitely don't
I
ask.
never asked a woman, "Hey, was I ever your best?" Mm-mm, don't ask. Don't ask.
Definitely don't ask. Because I will tell
I
you
base
yes
my
or no.
right. I base my one off the action, meaning that anytime I'm around this person is just nonstop, and she initiates it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? I mean, of course, I always wanted as a man. I always wanted day, night, moon, whatever time. The fact that the woman she kept coming after me lets me know, okay, I'm doing something right. So that's what I said. Okay, I know I got one for sure.
I love that for you.
Mhm.
And Mr. says, I know I was for at least two different women. One of them just hit me up last week. Okay. I did Mr. What she wants you in her patty patty woo ha. Patty patty woo ha. She ready to get a remix and everything. Listen, we are about to drop our own mixtape for the show, okay? So good for you. What'd you say? What'd you say, Mister? Did you hook up? What'd you say? I'm just
He
on the
spun the block.
business.
Yeah, he spun the block. He did it.
He's fun. I mean, I guess it's cuffing season. Is the application season. Is it draft? Is it the draft now? It's November. Or do you draft? Or do they draft after Thanksgiving so you don't need to bring the person to Thanksgiving dinner? I don't know how this all cuffing season works. I'm like looking
Hey,
at my watch. Like,
cuffing season starts right after summer.
oh,
Yeah.
but when's the draft?
The draft is during the summer. So if you don't get drafted in the summer, it's gonna be a cold winter for you.
Oh shit! So you start getting drafted and called up during the summer to see how it works, and then the one who made it, she sticks around. Oh shit! Is
Yeah.
that
At
how
the,
that works?
at the end of summertime, that's when you start, you picking and choosing.
Oh okay.
That one
Okay.
the one you want to bring around Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all that good stuff, Valentine's Day. Yeah. I mean, that's if you don't break up by then, but still, that's usually sorry,
I
ladies.
love that.
Sometimes you break up happens around this time because dudes trying to save money. So yeah, from at the end of summer, you might not see homie until March.
Oh, that's tough. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? How you been? It been a while. Yeah. Those we don't save that money.
I'm dead. Good night. Please, Mr. has responded to me. He said, I said, hell nah. She's a headache. I appreciate the rave reviews, but they're not worth the acrimony that comes with it. Acrimony. He said, hell to the nah. I appreciate you. Okay, that is the end of our questions. Thank you all for participating. We will actually probably do this again next week as we lead into Thanksgiving. Well, it will be Thanksgiving, or I'll find something spicier. If you want a topic that you want us to discuss next week, considering you will be eating dinner with your family and might want to have your family watch us, please have your family watch us and subscribe. But before we end the night, we are going to do dating tips. And I will start, Jack, Royce, Jeff, any of you in the chat, let us know if you want to pipe in. What would be my dating tip? Dating tip is, it's simple. I've been talking about it all night. Communication is key. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add communication and forgiveness. Let's talk about that for a second. Um, are you open to forgiving somebody when they make a mistake? You got to think about that when you are dating because people are bound to make mistakes. And what mistakes are you willing to forgive in the beginning of a relationship, and what are you not? Willing to forgive and really set that boundary for yourself. And whatever that boundary is, I think let that person know in the beginning when you're dating, this is a boundary for me. And if you step over this, you know what, I don't think I'll be able to forgive you. Um, and especially, I think somebody was talking about in the chat, telling the person it was Mr. telling somebody in the beginning not to do something and they do that. That tells you a lot about where that relationship is headed. So again, set boundaries and let people know, here's some unforgivable things that if they were to happen, it just these are my boundaries, and I would not forgive you. So that's kind of done up front because people are bound to make mistakes. But if you're open and honest in the beginning about what those boundaries are, what those unforgivable things are, and the reasons why for you they're unforgivable, just because they're unforgivable to you doesn't mean somebody else would forgive you. Like Twins has said, cheating for him is a no-no. I can forgive somebody for cheating, right? But if my partner is like cheating is a no-no for me, I can never forgive you. I know that in the beginning. So if I go out and I step outside the relationship, I know that I am jeopardizing this relationship by cheating. So really think about what those things are that they happen in a relationship that you will not be able to forgive your partner, and communicate that directly to them so that if it does happen, and also be willing to walk away, especially if you've communicated it, be willing to walk away from the relationship because if you set a boundary and you let somebody pounce on it and then you do nothing about it, it says to them, okay, then you weren't serious about this at all. So if you've set those boundaries and you've said that they're unforgivable, then be prepared to walk away if your partner does do them. So that's my tip. Twins and then Mr.
My dating tip would be, fellas, do not ignore the red, not red signs, the red flag. There we go. Do not ignore the red flags in the beginning relationship, especially when we said earlier in the conversation. If you're talking to a woman who has kids or has a baby daddy or whatever you want to call it, right? Do not ignore that flag. That's very key. That's as a man, you have the opportunity to see what type of woman that she is, right? You're gonna hear it, oh, the guy this, the guy that, but pay attention how she moves. Pay attention how she talks bad about him, because that man she gave a baby to. So if she talks crazy about him, what do you think she's gonna talk about you if y'all get into it or X, Y, Z? Just think about all those things because those things matter.
That part.
So yeah, that's my tip.
Mr. has his dating tip ready. He says, watch how that person treats other people when they're upset, because that's how they're going to treat you when you have issues to work out with them. That is true. How people treat other people is a reflection of how they will treat you, especially when they're upset. And do they take accountability? Um, for their actions. I think that's key too, because again, people are going to sometimes shit happens. People have had a bad day, the dog died, work was bad, hormones are raging, whatever might be happening. But do they then take accountability and or apologize and all of that? But if that's consistent behavior, to your point, if you're constantly going out, you go to the movie theater, you go to dinner, you're in the library, in the museum, you're traveling, and they're constantly just being rude to people, I think that's the biggest red flag that there is. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell everybody about Fuck Your Feelings. We will let you know if we are not having a Thanksgiving show. Let's assume we are going to be here live next Thursday, but if we are not, I will let you know. Maybe I will come on by myself. No, I'm going to miss Twins if he doesn't, so I will not do by myself. We might change the night. We'll figure it out. Twins will let me know his schedule. Or if some of you are not having Thanksgiving with your family, and if Twins is unable to host one, to step in and have his spot for the night and be my co-host, let a girl know.
We're gonna step up. We're gonna step up.
Who gonna
He-
step up? Jeff, Royce, Mr. Jeff Spade, SB, like who gonna step up if Twins is not able to join me next week? Because I will definitely be the co-host. Because talking to myself on the screen is not fun. So thank you everybody. I'm hearing Jeff said I enjoyed the show. You guys, I'm out. Royce Monroe said great show. And thank you to everybody. We appreciate you. We love you all. Subscribe, share, like. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.